Now it's time for us to hit the hospitals to show you what goes on.
Today we're in the Gait lab.
Walking. Most of us don't think about it that much. But what is it? What affects it? And most importantly, why am I wearing this outfit? I'm here at Alder Hey Hospital in Liverpool at a special laboratory, the Gait lab, and I'm going to get some answers. All walks are different, and your own style of walking is your gait. Gait lab manager Jill Holmes is here to tell me more.
People that come to us usually have something wrong with them. The doctors that are looking after them want to understand what it is that is making them walk in an odd way and what do we do about it.
So basically, the more you know about someone's walk, the more that doctors can make decisions about how to do surgery, how to reposition muscles, how to help people do exercises to get them better. In this amazing room, sophisticated cameras and computer technology help create 3D models of your walk.
So we will look at them very accurately and we'll describe how they're walking and what they're doing wrong.
Yes, but why am I dressed in this ridiculous outfit?
So that we know where you are and what you're doing, we have to put little markers on you.
Time to put my best foot forward. Let's start walking.
Off you go.
So I've done my walking, and now I'm going to have a look at the 3D model of me and see what's going on.
You have got a normal, efficient way of walking.
Is this the kind of walk that a really cool person would have, like a movie star or a dancer or something like that?
It's an ordinary walk.
It's an ordinary walk.
So, my barefoot walk looks good, but most of the time we wear shoes.
Are there any kinds of shoes that are bad for you?
Yes, there are shoes that are bad for you. Shoes that are too small, or girls tend to wear shoes that are too high.
Have you got anything in a different colour? Chris can see me now.
Jill wants to show me how shoes can affect the way your muscles and joints work.
There we go. I'm gaining a bit of confidence now. I think they're quite impressed.
But as I discover, it's really hard to walk fast. By looking at my stick figure, you can see that my knees never straighten in heels, which has a big knock-on effect on the rest of my body.
So you can see how bad it would be for someone to wear heels the entire time.
You'd expect them to have foot problems, you'd expect them to start to have some knee, hip and back problems.
In fact, all styles of shoes can affect your body, and no matter what you wear on your feet, it's really important that your shoes fit properly.
I've learned that my walk is basically normal. We've also seen how much shoes affect the way you walk. But most tragically, my ambitions to be a catwalk model have been destroyed. Thanks, Jill.
Ouch. Now we're getting ouch and about with our mobile clinic.
Today we're at a theme park to help solve your medical mysteries.
If you're anxious about an ailment or curious about a condition, then the Ouchmobile is the place for you.
That's brilliant, look at that.
Xand is preparing the clinic, ready for his patients. And later, he'll be out in the park to answer your burning questions. At the clinic, he's open for business.
Can I have the next patient?
First in is 11-year-old Jay, with a question about a fascinating feature on his feet.
So Jay, what's brought you to the Ouchmobile today?
I've got a very annoying thing on my feet. Both of my big toes are bent.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
This sounds like a case of I've got a very annoying problem with my feet and both my big toes are bent-itis.
That's exactly what I'd say.
Wow, you have really bendy big toes. So what Jay's got is actually very unusual. This joint is where your toes are bending in. It's that last joint in your big toe. These are called hallux interphalangeus. That's Latin for bendy toes.
So what should I do about it?
It's well worth seeing a specialist in feet, so a podiatrist or an orthopedic surgeon. They can put special gadgets in your shoes, things that'll either pull your toes straight or push them a little bit and get them right. Now, it may be that when you're older, you actually need an operation to fix it, but it isn't going to cause you problems through your whole life, but it's well worth looking into when you're young.
It's a busy day for Xand. He's leaving the clinic to go ouch and about in the park to solve your medical mysteries.
Dr. Sam, why do you get wobbly legs after a scary ride?
What happens is your body's releasing a hormone called adrenaline, which is meant to prepare your body to like run away from something frightening. So it makes your heart beat faster, it makes your muscles more twitchy, and then your muscles are all ready to go, but you're not running around, you're just standing there, so they're kind of twitching and wobbling and trembling, and that's where that feeling comes from.
Why, when you're on a really fast roller coaster, does your face go like this?
Nice face, Joe.
When you're on the ride, you know how you feel heavy, like your head feels very, it's hard to move your head, it's hard to lift your arms. You're effectively getting what's called G-force pulling on your face. As you're going around a corner or accelerating, you've got lots of times the force of gravity pulling on you. What that means is it pulls the skin on your face, the muscles in your face back, so it starts to do that, change the shape of your face.
Back at the Ouchmobile, there's a new case in the waiting room.
Next patient, please.
And it's 8-year-old Anissa with a story about her skin.
I got some different coloured patches of skin on some parts of my body.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds to me like a case of I've got different coloured patches of skin on different parts of my body-itis.
Sounds right to me.
What we're looking at is completely normal skin that's just lost its colour. And what I think you've got is a problem called vitiligo. Vitiligo means that the cells that normally make skin dark using a chemical called melanin just aren't working anymore. They've either died or they're just not making that chemical anymore, and so those bits of skin are lighter. We don't really know all the reasons why it happens, but the good news is it's not dangerous, it's not going to do you any harm, it's just a bit noticeable around your eyes.
What can I do about it?
A lot of people respond to either light therapy on the patches or to laser therapy. It may well be that your doctors can help you treat it.
Thank you for having me.
Anissa, thank you very much for coming in today.
Job done, clinic closed.
Nice to be out and about,
Walking to the park, seeing friends.
but there are always dangers lurking on the street, and I'm not just talking about Xand. I'm talking about street danger. For example, there could be a car coming around this corner.
Stop! I've got you covered, Chris.
There could be broken glass in the street.
Yep, already noticed and avoided. On we go.
And finally, there's the danger of unidentified flying objects falling out of the sky.
Honestly, Chris, I think that is extremely unlikely.
Ow! Oh, ow! Oh, look, a rogue pineapple's just fallen out of the sky onto Xand's foot. Admittedly, that was very unlikely.
Unlikely and painful.
It's also a minor injury.
So what should you do if you bruise your foot? A. Build a time machine and go back to before the accident happened and try and prevent it. B. Remove the bruised foot. C. Simply apply something cold to relieve the pain for no longer than 10 minutes. The correct answer is C. So, to treat a bruised foot, you just do something very simple.
Put something cold on it to relieve the pain and reduce the swelling. How's that?
That's great.
Good enough to play football on?
Oh, we forgot the football. Bother. How does he do that?
So, to treat a bruised foot, put something cold on it. But if you're worried, tell an adult.
That's amazing, and so's this. In an ordinary city, high above the streets, lies a deserted urban playground awaiting a prime performance. Ready to see some serious skills? This is John Farnworth, and he's a football freestyling genius. He holds 5 world records and can do 107 shin keepy-uppies in a minute. His specialities also include toe keepy-uppies, round the world, the side-to-side on head, and heel keepy-uppies. This keepy-uppy king trains for more than 40 hours a week, and he's completed the London Marathon whilst keeping the ball in the air. So how does John's amazing body do this? Believe it or not, the secret to John's success lies in his brain.
Certain tricks are harder than others, but they all require a lot of concentration to do.
When it comes to the brain, up front is the big lad, the cerebrum. That's what allows you to think, make decisions, and learn. The cerebrum houses the motor cortex. It's the midfield maestro, pulling all the strings, telling our muscles to move when we want them to. Playing at the back, there's the cerebellum, crucial for balance and coordination. It's the big match player with a vital role in everything you're seeing right now. Now that's amazing. Can we have our ball back, please, mister?
Another patient has had a rather unusual accident.
Luckily, the team is ready to fix her.
In Accident and Emergency, 7-year-old Amy has come in with...
A flower growing out of her head?
No, a sore foot and some very nice boots.
Yes, but what's wrong with her foot?
I'm gonna go and get my toe checked to see if it's broken because my brother,
Go on.
he pushed me and I got my foot stuck in a chair.
Foot stuck in a what?
A chair?
How on earth?
It all happened 5 days ago. Amy was at home in the lounge with her little brother. He had his favourite show on the telly and he wasn't changing the channel for anyone.
Well, you know what it's like when your fave show is on.
To keep the peace, Amy decided it wasn't worth an argument, so she thought she'd go upstairs and play. As she got up, she went to pick up her doll.
Go on then, Amy. Off you go.
But her brother thought she was going to grab the remote control off him and pushed her away. Amy went tumbling backwards, but her foot was trapped under the chair.
Well, that'll teach you for playing nicely, Amy. Ouch!
It really hurt that moment and stuff. And I thought it would get better, but it didn't.
She might have got to grips with using crutches, but her foot still hurts and she can't put any weight on it. Which is a problem, because Amy has some big plans on the horizon.
Well, I hope it's better in 2 weeks because it's my birthday, and for my birthday I'm doing ice skating and I need my toes to ice skate.
Yep, you certainly do. So best to get you in to see Dr. Adam Abraham.
Come through, please. I like your boots.
Told you they were nice.
Yeah, but what about the toe?
Where is it most painful, my love?
The painful there.
Okay, and does it hurt if I push in slightly?
Only a little bit.
Okay, I think we need an X-ray just to make sure it's not broken.
So, time for Amy to hot-foot it to X-ray.
Okay, nice and still for me.
If your feet were x-rayed right now, it would look like you had twice the number of bones as your mum or dad's feet.
That's because when you're born, your feet contain soft cartilage. As they grow, the cartilage develops into pieces of bone, but it's not until you're about 18 that they fuse together to make the 26 bones of an adult foot.
But has Amy broken any of her foot bones? Time to find out.
That's your toe. Now, I can't see a break. There could be a number of reasons for that. One being that there wasn't a break to begin with, that she's either done some damage to the tendons or she's just sprained it very badly. Two is because it has been almost a week now. If the break was bad, we would have seen it, regardless of the 5-6 day interval.
So it's good news, and all the doctor needs to do is strap up her toe to make sure it heals in the best position.
But does it mean that Amy will make it to the ice rink?
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah, you've got plenty of time because that's almost 3 weeks from the original injury, isn't it? I think it should be fine.
That's a relief.
Time to hop it, Amy. Your ice rink awaits. Bye.
We've got some incredible body tricks.
Want to find out how to stop your friends from being able to control the movement of their foot?
So I want you to take your right foot, stick it out in front of you, and now I want you to make circles like that clockwise. So if you're looking at a clock face, I want you to make a circle around the clock face the same direction the hands move. Very good. So everyone can do that. It's easy, isn't it? So without touching you, I'm going to stop you being able to do that. What I want you to do is get your right finger up in the air. Okay, now I want you to trace the number 6 big in the air, like that. And I want you to keep doing it. So see if you can keep your foot spinning clockwise, or you make a big number 6.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can.
Okay, so who understands why you can't do the trick?
Because your finger is going the opposite direction to your foot, so it kind of confuses your brain.
Excellent work, Tess. When we draw the number 6, it's an anti-clockwise movement. When we try to move our foot clockwise, our brain gets confused and tries to make them move in the same direction.
Your brain finds it very hard to coordinate 2 circles, one going that way and one going the other way. But some of you found that if you drew the letter 6 clockwise, It's very easy, because everything moves in the same direction. I fooled with all of your brains.
And that's why this lot will never be able to do it. And we bet you can't either.
We've got some incredible body tricks for you to try out. Want to fool your mates into thinking you have amazing magical powers and can levitate off the ground? Then take a look at this.
So for this trick, I'm going to show you how to fly just a little bit. Now what I need is your help. I'm going to be using real magic, but the louder you scream, the easier it is for me, okay? So I need a bit of encouragement. I'm going to go over here, I'm going to turn my back to you, and then you've got to start cheering when Chris says go. All right, Chris?
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Come on, son! Come on, Tony! Fly! Fly! That is really good, actually.
Oh, it's tiring doing all this flying. So who thinks they know how I did it?
Standed on your toes and lifted this foot up.
Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. Yeah, that's about right. So what I'm doing is I'm standing on one foot, on the balls of the foot, and lifting up the other one. The most important bit of the trick is to position yourself so the person can't see your other foot. So you've actually got to be quite far away from people when you do the trick. Who wants to have a go?
So with this trick, you need to make sure you give yourself a bit of distance from you and your audience. With your back slightly turned to them, put your feet together and balance all your weight onto just one foot. From that angle to your amazed audience, it looks as if you're hovering above the ground. It's tricky, but worth the practice to impress your mates.
How does that look? Does it look like he's levitating?
No.
No? He's not using real magic, that's the problem.
Now we're getting ouch and about with our mobile clinic.
Today, we're at a theme park to help solve your medical mysteries.
If you're anxious about an ailment,
or curious about a condition,
then the Ouchmobile is the place for you.
That is incredible.
Xand is preparing the clinic ready for his patients. And later, he'll be out in the park to answer your burning questions. At the clinic, Xand is open for business.
Can I have the next patient?
First in is 9-year-old Byron with a question about some interesting bumps on his body.
So Byron, why have you come to the Ouchmobile today?
To show my warts and my warts on here.
You've got 2 warts.
And they won't go away.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds to me like a case of I've got a wart on my thumb and I've got a wart on my foot and they won't go away itis.
Double trouble.
Let's have your thumb here. Now that is just an absolutely classic wart. Can we have a look at the one on your foot? Does it hurt at all? No.
What can you do about warts?
Well, a lot of warts just go away on their own, but for some people they don't like the way they look or they take a long time to go away. In that case, you can either put some chemicals on and that will get rid of them, or you can use a freezing treatment and that breaks the cells in the warts and means the warts die and go away. But as long as you have got a wart, although it's not really a problem, you don't want to spread them onto other people. So if you go swimming, you want to put a sticky plaster over the wart on your thumb and the one on your foot, and that will stop them spreading.
It's a busy day for Xand. He's leaving the clinic to go ouch and about in the park to solve your medical mysteries.
Why do you always feel sick after a roller coaster?
When you're on a roller coaster, your ears and your eyes and your body are actually getting really different bits of information because you're looking at things are all changing, going upside down, and your brain gets confused and it actually thinks that you've eaten something poisonous that's making you crazy. And so the response to eating something poisonous is to make you sick. That's actually why you're sick after being on a roller coaster.
Dr. Xand, today I scratched my eye on a ride. Why does it go red?
What happens is when you scratch the skin, you slightly injure it. And your body's way of fixing injuries is to send blood to the area. And that's what makes it look red, because blood's red. The reason your body does that is because in the blood there's all sorts of good things like white blood cells and other things which help mend the injury. So I think you're going to be fine.
Back at the Ouchmobile, there's a new case in the waiting room.
Can I have the next patient?
And it's 11-year-old Lucas with fascinating feet.
So Lucas, why have you come to the Ouchmobile today?
Well, I've got flat feet.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Sounds like a case of I've got flat feet-itis.
Well, that wasn't tricky to diagnose.
So how long have you had flat feet for?
Well, it's been about 6 months.
Okay, now while Lucas is taking off his shoe, I'm going to do exactly the same thing so that we can compare his foot to my foot. So what you can see is that almost all of Lucas's foot is touching the ground. I've actually got quite a lot of room under here. And That's the arch of your foot. And here, Lucas is just a bit collapsed.
So what actually causes flat feet?
If you imagine your foot as a structure that has to hold the whole weight of your body, especially when you're running and jumping, there's bones, ligaments and muscles all holding it together. If all these muscles holding that together weaken, gradually your foot can flatten out.
But if they're causing you pain, then your doctor can suggest some treatments, such as an insole in your shoe.
For the majority of people, it doesn't cause any problems at all.
Job done for today, clinic closed. Let's head back to accident and emergency to meet our next patient.
You are not going to believe this one.
But I always believe everything on Operation Ouch.
It's a figure of speech, Xand.
Good.
In accident and emergency, 7-year-old Emily is waiting with a terrible toe.
Ooh, that looks sore.
Stanley did it.
Stanley? He looks far too sweet and innocent for that.
He took the photograph of my toe.
A photograph? How did that happen?
It was a Sunday at home. Emily and her brother Stanley were in Emily's bedroom.
Ooh, I like those pink walls.
I think you'll find it's lilac, Xand.
But what were they up to?
They were playing.
Hide and seek? 1, 2, 3, found you!
I don't think so, Xand.
Making a den?
That's what you used to do.
I still do.
Actually, they were just messing around when all of a sudden, Stanley knocked a heavy photo frame off the windowsill and it fell straight onto Emily's toe.
Ouch!
Does it hurt, Emily?
Yeah.
Dr. Reddy Ilavala's here again to look at that damaged digit.
Can you wriggle your toes for me?
Wiggle your toes.
I'm just making sure your joints are all right, yeah?
Is it just your nail that hurts, sweetheart?
That bit where you judge it.
On examination, there was blood underneath the nail, so it was under tension and it was very painful for her. We will try to relieve the pressure by putting a small hole. We call that as trephining.
A knock to the toe can cause blood and pressure to build up behind the nail, causing pain.
Trephining involves a special heated tool to make a small hole in the toenail. This will relieve the built-up blood and pressure.
And make Emily's toe happy again.
Swallow.
To make sure it doesn't hurt, Emily's having some painkillers.
Dr. Reddy gets trephining. It might look drastic, but Emily will be so much better when the pressure is released from under her toe.
Little brother Stanley is there for support.
Blood's coming out.
Yeah, see?
With the blood drained, a plaster is put on Emily's toe to protect it from infection.
It might take a week or two, but the nail will fall off and a fresh nail will grow back.
Terrific! Emily gets a brand new nail.
So what's the plan now, Emily?
I'm gonna be careful on with my toe.
Good idea.
Stanley, you've got to look out for your sister.
Off she hops into the distance. Bye! Remember Neve and her broken ankle?
Let's hop over to the emergency department to see how she's getting on.
We've never done that before. We're back at Sheffield Hospital with 10-year-old Neve, who has a broken ankle.
Neve had just been in her maths class at school
And was heading for lunch
when she fell down some stairs and hurt her ankle.
She spent the last 2 days in hospital waiting for the swelling to go down.
It was a bit better now. I can wiggle my toes.
Oh yeah, that's definite wiggling.
Which is good news, as it means the swelling has gone down.
But before Neve can go home, she has to be able to get about. And there's one thing she's hoping for.
I'm looking forward to getting crutches.
Why's that?
Yeah, I can hit my brother with them.
I don't think that's what crutches are for, Neve.
Time to bring in physios Louise and Helen. They're here to help Neve learn how to get around on one leg.
Neve can't walk on her broken ankle for the next 6 weeks.
That's because a fracture can be delicate whilst it's healing. If she puts weight on her ankle too soon, the broken bones could move and take even longer to mend, or worse, heal in the wrong position.
So to make sure this doesn't happen, she needs support from crutches or a walking frame until she regains full movement and strength.
Let's do hopping. Are you good at hopping? Okay, so keep that leg off the floor all the time.
First, the physios try Neve with a walking frame.
Fantastic.
And then it's on to the crutches.
They're a little bit more harder to use, so we'll see how we get on.
Neve wants crutches, but the physios have to be confident that she's safe on them.
Nice and slowly.
She's off. Crutches always look like fun, don't they, Xand?
Yes, Chris, but actually they can be quite tricky to master. So, is it going to be a walking frame or crutches?
We've decided that she's safer to go home with a walking frame at the moment, just because crutches are quite hard when you're not allowed to put your weight through your leg.
No crutches, but Neve doesn't seem to mind.
So what have you learnt then, Neve?
Not to run down any stairs.
You're not kidding.
Bye!
We're in the park, the perfect place to spend an afternoon, whether you're sitting having a picnic, walking with friends, or playing football.
Sorry.
But a day in the park can also be a day of danger. You could fall asleep without sun cream and get sunburned.
Ooh, dangerous.
Oh.
You could get lost and stumble into a forest full of hungry bears. Phew, danger averted.
Or you could accidentally forget your money for ice cream and have to watch other people enjoying theirs.
Should we play football then?
Yeah, all right, let's do penalties.
Oh, hang on. I have got some money after all. I'll race you to the ice cream van.
Ooh, a minor injury.
So what should you do if you sprain your ankle? A, roll around on the grass crying, "I'll never compete again." B, apply something cold to the injury for no longer than 10 minutes. Or C, buy the Ankle De-Sprainer 2000 and hope it works.
The correct answer is B. We need to reduce the pain and the swelling with a cold compress. How's that, Xand?
Well, it's better, but I'm still not happy.
I know something that'll cheer you up. Come with me.
Oh!
My ice cream!
My clothes! Hey!
So remember, if you sprain your ankle, then put something cold on it for no longer than 10 minutes. And if you're worried, tell an adult.
In fact, lots of injuries can be helped by putting something cold on them. It's particularly useful for sprains, strains, and pulled muscles. This is because it reduces inflammation, stops swelling, and can help with pain. So don't forget this cool fact.
Nice one, Xand. Earlier, Mason came to accident and emergency after injuring his ankle.
Let's catch up with him.
Back in Sheffield, 8-year-old Mason is in with a badly swollen ankle. Mason was trampolining and jumping as high as he could, but his cousin was on the same trampoline. They smashed into each other, toppled down, and Mason twisted his ankle. Ouch!
Dr. Beavis has x-rayed Mason's foot and has seen a small fracture.
Mason's going to need to have a plaster cast on for a few weeks, so why is he so happy?
Got what I wanted, crutches.
But before he can get them, he needs to prove he can use them.
First, he needs to get his plaster cast on.
I'm never going on a trampoline ever again.
Really, Mason?
Can't imagine why.
Ooh, that's nice.
Ooh, I think he's enjoying this, Chris.
Oh, I can feel it setting already. All done.
Mason's quite young for crutches, hence the test.
You getting me crutches now?
Yeah, but it all depends on if you can work them. Because she says you're a bit little, but because you're so tall, they're going to try.
They're my crutches.
The moment of truth has arrived.
It certainly has, Xand.
Oh, hey.
Mason needs to show the nurse that he can get about on the crutches without falling over.
Let's do it.
He's styling it.
Success!
So, armed with his new crutches, Mason speeds off, ready to impress the girls.
Was there ever any doubt in your mind?
Little wobble, but not major.
And what has he learned?
Don't never try and do as high as you can on a trampoline, because that's what happens.
Careful, Mason.
A bit stumbly, but off we go.
Bye. We're on call with the UK Emergency Services, showing you what it's really like on the front line saving lives.
On call with me is Paramedic Xand van. This is a rapid response vehicle, and it's on standby 24/7 to respond to whatever emergency calls coming in. Today, I'm going along for the ride, and guess what? You're coming with me.
Jan can take 10 to 15 emergency call-outs in a day.
And a new case is just in.
So we've had a 999 call to a 53-year-old lady who's injured her ankle. So it could be anything from a simple sprain to blood loss, severe pain, and maybe some other cause for the fall that could be life-threatening as well. So we've got to get there quickly, find out what's going on.
The call has taken us right into the centre of town.
Hello.
Hello.
Is it Linda?
It is.
What's happened?
Tripped over the man ankle.
Oh, just the edge of that raised platform there? So was you knocked unconscious at all? No? Have you hit your head or the back of your neck or your back at all?
No.
What have you injured?
My knee and my ankle.
Okay.
Oh.
Are you able to bend your knee at all?
I do, but my ankle hurts.
Your ankle hurts when you bend it? Okay.
Yeah.
Press down on my hand. Push down as hard as you can. Where does that hurt when you push down?
On my ankle.
On the outside?
Yeah.
Linda's ankle is clearly causing her a lot of pain.
So it may just look like Jan's feeling her ankle, but in fact, she's feeling in very particular places. There's a set of rules called the Ottawa ankle rules, and they help you decide whether they're likely to have broken a bone. So Jan's trying to figure out which bits are tender. That'll tell us whether she needs to go to hospital.
Yeah, I'm going to need Emma back up for this patient. She's unable to wait there, needs an x-ray.
Using the Ottawa rules, Jan has decided that the ankle is probably broken, and Linda does need an ambulance.
At the moment, she's quite uncomfortable. We're managing to keep her warm, but she can't walk on that leg. So we need to get her to hospital and get her an x-ray. She can be treated from there.
It's important to keep it still so that if she's got any bones that are broken, if the edges rub together, it can create a lot of pain and it can create some bleeding, which will make the ankle worse as well. You're doing it, that's it. Well done, darling. You're able to twist around a little bit? There you go.
It's really good that Jan was able to assess her really quickly, get her an ambulance, and get her to hospital where she needs to be. And once there, the doctors discovered Linda's ankle was broken, and it was soon fixed. Now we're getting ouch and about with our mobile clinic.
Today we're at a theme park to help solve your medical mysteries.
If you're anxious about an ailment,
or curious about a condition,
then the Ouchmobile is the place for you. That is incredible. Chris is preparing the clinic ready for his first patient.
And Xand is out in the park to answer your burning questions.
At the clinic, Chris is open for business.
Next patient, please.
First in is 10-year-old Soraya with a question about some troublesome teeth.
Soraya, why have you come to the Ouchmobile today?
Because I've got an interesting extra tooth in between my two front teeth.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
This sounds like a case of I've got an interesting extra tooth between my two front teeth, itis.
Sounds right to me.
Open wide. And there he is, look at that. So, when you're born, all your grown-up teeth are already in your jaw. And when your milk teeth are falling out, it's because your grown-up teeth are pushing them through. And I think what's happened is that tooth is an old milk tooth. And as the two big grown-up teeth have come through, they've pushed that one back.
Will my extra tooth ever fall out?
In some people, they do fall out, but probably you're going to need it taken out by a dentist. The good news is most of the time the dentist will put you to sleep. So you won't feel a thing, you just wake up and the tooth is gone.
Away from the clinic, Xand is ouch and about in the park.
Why does your tummy flip when you go up or down on a roller coaster?
Inside you, not everything is firmly fixed down. So there are some bits of your body that are quite firmly attached and don't move much, but your stomach isn't one of them. It's quite elastic and it can move around. So what is literally happening is you're going up and your stomach's being pulled down, and then as you go over the hill, your stomach keeps going up and you start going down again. So your stomach is almost flipping. It can make you feel a bit sick.
Dr. Xand, how do antibiotics know which part of your body to affect?
What's happening is every cell in your body is exposed to the antibiotics, but you can imagine the bacteria are quite different cells to the ones in your body. Like they just work in different ways, they've got different enzymes, different proteins and so on. And so the antibiotics are specially designed to interfere with the bacteria without interfering with the cells in your body. It's a very difficult question.
Back at the Ouchmobile, there's a new case in the waiting room.
Next patient, please.
And it's 8-year-old Cassius, whose toes need some tending.
So Cassius, what brings you to the Ouchmobile?
On one of my feet, on all of my toes, on all of my nails, they're golden yellow.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
So this sounds like a rare case of, on one of my feet, on all of my toes, all of my nails of goldeny yellow-itis.
Easy for you to say.
Goodness me, yeah. I can see under your nails is also infected. The fungus that has infected your nails is a bit like a mushroom. And if you ever go to a mushroom farm, they have to grow in dark, damp conditions, a bit like the conditions we find in your shoe.
What can I do about it?
Well, there are a couple of things you can do. You can take medication, you can get antifungal treatments that you paint on the nail. And the second thing you can do is wear quite loose-fitting shoes that breathe easily, and sometimes on a sunny day like this, you should just wear flip-flops.
And don't forget to change your socks every day too.
Job done for today, clinic closed. An ordinary boxing club. With ordinary people working out.
This man's hard at it. Is he a boxer?
No, Xand.
Is he a wrestler?
He certainly is.
Ooh, he looks very angry. Hang on a minute. Why is he sitting down?
He's getting ready to rumble! Meet Alan Nasty Nash, and he's the world champion toe wrestler. It's just like arm wrestling, but with your toes. You have to lock toes and then push your opponent's foot to the side. Alan's so good at it, he's won the world title 8 times.
Do you have to pull that face when you're toe wrestling? What an amazing feat! How does he do it?
Alan's mighty moves aren't just down to his twinkling toes. His strength comes from his legs. Alan trains at the gym 3 times a week to build up massive muscles.
Grrr, there's that mean face again.
Power is then transferred into Alan's short, stumpy toes.
Hey!
Through his massive flexor hallucis longus. That's the big toe muscle to you and me, which runs from his calf, down his ankle, and into the big toe. With all that power, Alan's toes take a real battering in matches. Over the years, he's broken 9 of them.
It's a dangerous sport, so best not try it yourself.
I've had an injury that was so bad I had to have the toe taken off, the bone ground down, and then the toe put back on again.
What?
I had to have the toe taken off, the bone ground down, and then the toe put back on again.
That's what I thought he said. Loser! That's amazing.
We've got some incredible body tricks for you to show your friends.
Want to find out how you can stop your mate standing on their tiptoes?
We're now going to teach you a trick. So, Xand, stand there. Can you stand on your tiptoes? Look at that, well done. So, Xand, I want you to stand against the door. And I just want the tips of your toes very slightly beyond the door. Just stand so your whole chest is against the door. And you're like that. Stand on tiptoes. Come on, stand on tiptoes.
Yeah! No, I can't do it. I can't do it. Just
And it's not just Xand that can't do it. He can't do it. She can't. And nor can he.
Oh, cheating, you move your feet.
So you all failed to do it, didn't you? Now, does anyone know why?
The door being there, you can't go forward and you push backwards and stay on the ground.
Alex is absolutely right. When you go on tiptoes, it's not just your muscles pushing you upwards, which is easy. You've also got to balance. And to do that, your brain tells you to move forwards, then upwards to distribute your weight evenly and stop you from falling.
So if you can't lean forwards, you just fall backwards like that.
Or like that.